Hello and welcome to Sound Advice. I'm Donna Smith, and today's topic is a vegetarian diet, the truth about protein. I get a lot of questions about a vegetarian diet or a plant-based diet, or even transitioning how to do that into a plant-based diet. Well, there are some basics that you need to know, and I want to set you on the right track and let you know that it's a good journey, but stay tuned. Well, we're talking about a vegetarian diet and the truth about protein. The main question that I get asked is, can I get enough protein on a vegetarian diet? Well, the answer is absolutely yes. As a matter of fact, in other countries, they eat very little meat. They can't afford a lot of meat, and they eat a lot of plant foods. But in our country, our Western diet is just the opposite. We eat a lot of meat and very little plant food. Well, it also affects our health. We have a high incidence of obesity, cancer, heart disease, osteoporosis. And in some of these other countries, they don't know of those chronic illnesses like in our country. But what I want to say is there are some things that you need to know about planning a vegetarian diet. For example, if you love lettuce and you like kale and you love fruit or strawberries and you ate that primarily, that's not a complete diet. That's not a healthy diet. Although you're eating some wonderful foods, you won't get enough protein in that diet. Different types of vegetarian diets. You have a lacto-ovo vegetarian diet. Lacto refers to milk, ovo refers to eggs, and then plant foods, all plant foods. But you also have people who elect to be a vegan. A vegan would be a strict vegetarian diet, or you are a herbivore. Your diet primarily consists of plant foods. Now, if you're a lacto-ovo vegetarian, they would eat animal products but no flesh. So that would be milk, eggs, cheese, yogurt, ice cream, anything that you could make from those animal products. They would have that plus plant foods. But the vegan, again, is a strict plant food diet. But if you are either vegetarian, particularly if you are the vegan, you would need to be a little more intentional about planning your meals. But I would say this, for both types of vegetarian, variety is the key. You want to make sure you're eating enough variety, particularly from those plant foods that would provide some protein for you. And those groups would be tofu, beans, whole grains. And when I say whole grains, that's corn, quinoa, oatmeal, whole wheat, whole grains. And then you want to add seeds, legumes, peas, nuts. Those are your main areas that you would get your protein. And of course, some vegetables too. Now, here are some examples of specific foods and how much protein you can get. But let me put it into perspective. If you were a 200-pound man, you would need about 91 grams of protein for the day. So here are some specific foods. For example, a half a cup of tofu is about 20 grams of protein. Soybeans, 1 cup cooked, is about 29 grams of protein. A vegan burger is anywhere from 11 to 13 grams of protein. 1 cup of lentils is about 18 grams of protein. 1 cup of cooked navy beans, about 16 grams of protein. Garbanzos, 1 cup, is about 14.5 grams of protein. Almonds, 1/4 cup, is about 7.4 grams of protein. Those foods, and there are others, can provide to you different sources of protein. So you have a number of places where you can go when you're planning your meal. And the main thing, regardless of what type of vegetarian you are, is to eat a wide variety and focus on those different food groups or foods so that you can get your protein. Protein is a very important nutrient. It's important for our growth, repair of our tissues. We need protein to make enzymes and antibodies and hormones, which help regulate our body. It's also important for fluid regulation and acid-base balance. Proteins are made up of 20 amino acids. Now, 9 of those 20 amino acids we call essential amino acids. An essential amino acid means you must get it from your diet. Your body cannot make it. But once you get it from your diet, your body has the amazing ability to make the other 11 amino acids. Some resources would say there's 21 amino acids or 22, but your body has the ability to make the others. Now, I mentioned that your body has to have those 9 essential amino acids, and then your body can make the remaining, so you can have all 20. Well, sometimes you have to combine foods like peanut butter and bread or nuts and grains in order to get a complete protein. And when I say a complete protein, that means putting those foods together will give you those 9 essential amino acids. Because nuts may be low in one of those amino acids, but the grains are high in what's low in the nuts, and vice versa. Or corn and beans. Well, the corn may be low in one of those 9 essential amino acids, but the beans are high in one of those 9 essential amino acids, and vice versa. So by combining these foods, you can get all 9. And you don't necessarily have to get it in one meal. We thought that at one time. As long as you get it within a couple of days, your body has this amazing ability to go into, if you will, a nutritional pool that you have and get what it needs out of that nutritional pool. So it will be looking for those 9 essential amino acids so that you can make the others and build a complete protein. Well, we've talked a lot about protein, but now it's our show and tell time of the program. And I want to show you some of the foods that I had mentioned or talked about. For example, this is the firm tofu. Now, I'm sure you've heard about tofu, but some people haven't tried it. And it would look like this. Now, this is a firm. It's really firm. And usually we would take the firm tofu to make hamburger or meatloaf or patties or things like that. We call it our fake meat. But it tastes like a sponge just like this. But because it tastes like a sponge, any seasoning or flavor or soy sauce that you would marinate your tofu in, it takes on all of that flavor. So that's good. And now tofu also comes in the silken tofu or soft tofu. And with that, you can make milkshakes or sauces, a cheese sauce or mayonnaise or any other type of sauce or a pudding. But then you have products like Morning Star. Now I say Morning Star because that's my favorite. There are a number of products that have the meat analogs in it or the vegetarian meats in it, but I like Morning Star the best, and Worthington. But here, they even have fake sausages, and it almost looks like a real sausage. And it tastes good. It tastes close to a real sausage. But I would say this, with the meat analogs, they don't have a lot of fat in them or a lot of cholesterol. Now, when you get a real sausage, and I've eaten a real sausage, you get all that grease in the pan, and it's real greasy because it has fat in it. But these meat analogs don't have a lot of fat in it, so they'll dry out pretty quickly. All you have to do is heat it on low, and it's ready to go. Now here's Morning Star, what they call their grillers crumbles, which is the same thing as getting your ground beef in the store. Now I will say this, it's not equivalent. So 1 cup of ground beef is not equivalent to 1 cup of the grillers. You're going to need less of the grillers to substitute for the ground beef. And I will give you information below on substitutions of some of these vegetarian products to make it equivalent to regular meat. And here Morning Star has put out even some fake bacon. Look, it almost looks like bacon, but it really doesn't taste like bacon. I've tasted bacon and it really doesn't taste like bacon, but it has a good taste. And it kind of looks like it a little bit. Doesn't have the texture as bacon because bacon is really greasy, and these products don't have a lot of fat in it, so they'll dry out very quickly. but you'll get the hang of how to make them, along with a number of other recipes right here in my book, Finger Licking Way to Fight the Fat. And in my Pumpkins Veggie Delights, I have a number of recipes. Now, these are a number of family favorites, some of my own concoctions, and some of my friends, some of their recipes that I really enjoyed. I put those all in here. Again, if you're planning to transition to a plant-based diet, it's pretty good. It's a good diet, and there are a lot of advantages as far as health goes, and it doesn't have to be very expensive. A vegetarian diet, the truth is, yes, you can get a good amount of protein on a vegetarian diet. Well, I'm Donna Smith, and that's sound advice.